This is the sixth Scream movie in the franchise and a sequel to Scream 5, or Scream, which came out in 2022. Scream 5 came out in January of 2022, and Scream 6 came out in March of 2023. So within 14 months, we got two Scream movies, which I didn't expect or anticipate. Melissa Barrera, Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Jenna Ortega all return in their respective roles for this sixth installment in the franchise. Now, the interesting thing is that the tagline is New York, New Rules, because the setting is in New York City. The only thing I did not like about this is that I felt like we needed more of the New York City setting, because we only see a glimpse of the Brooklyn Bridge, flyover view of the World Trade Center 1, and that's it. And maybe the subway, but nothing else. Like, give us Times Square, give us the Empire State Building. If you had killings in those locations, pretty sure it would have been a much better movie. The movie runs 123 minutes long, which is 2 hours and 3 minutes. There are some scenes that could have been cut out to move the story along, but its necessity is that Sam and Tara leave Woodsboro because of what happened in the fifth movie. And everyone finds out in some way that kind of Sam was the one that, was responsible for the killings, which she wasn't. And we know this because, her boyfriend and Richie was. And they also find out that she is the daughter of Billy Loomis, the killer from the first movie. Now, the aspect of how each character is developed is different. Not only that, Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy is absolutely amazing. She's a highlight for me because, and the reason I say this is because she moves the story along. The way she kind of, explains everything about all of a sudden now we're part of a franchise instead of a sequel or requel kind of thing. It's so good. The movie is intense, and the reason I say it's intense is because the killings are much more brutal and different than what you could ever imagine. People say that the opening kill scene in this is one of their favorites. It's up there with, a few good ones, but it lacks in a way where it's like, what can happen? The movie is predictable in a way, a little bit with the jump scares and the phone calls, but I mean, it's done really well. Courtney Cox comes back in her role as Gail Weathers, which is a very intense role. She's only in 3 scenes total. That's it. And you're rooting for everyone in this. And not only that, Hayden Panettiere is back as Kirby Reed, who is the survivor of the 2011 Woodsboro killings. And the way they wrote her character in was really, really fun and really, really good. The aspect of this and what made this movie amazing is the Easter eggs, where the killer, Ghostface, leaves little masks from previous killers from the entire franchise. Like from Roman Bridges, from Billy and Stu, and then everything, like, it just makes sense. And you see pictures of the previous suspects from the franchise in the movies and the detectives going over it, and it's really, really interesting. Dermot Mulroney as Wayne Bailey is really, really fun. The twist is something you would never have imagined. It made me go holy shit, literally go holy shit, because I did not expect how everything could come together, and it did. This shrine is probably the best thing that has happened in a Scream movie in a very, very long time. This is probably the second best entry in the Scream franchise. The first one being the best one, and then it's this one, and then Scream 4, Scream 5, Scream 2, and then 3. That's how I would rank it. So if you're asking me what my rankings are, there you go. Just gave it to you. The directing is great. I want to say, like, the slasher feel of it is there, and like the women in this franchise are great. Did the movie miss Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott in a big way? Yes, it did. I would have loved to have seen how they would have incorporated her character in her role, but she is mentioned by Gail, where Gail says in a way like she's taking her kids and going somewhere safe. So, if and when maybe this movie makes huge box office numbers, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a Scream 7. But then how can you move the story along? The thing about the Scream movies is that the story, who's going to be the killer, why they're doing it, and the motive. The killer in this has a motive, and you see that motive, and it's like, wow, holy shit. It's what you didn't expect. I didn't expect it. But then it makes you think, like, how's everything falling in line? How can a Ghostface killer be somewhere and then somewhere else? It's really interesting how they did it, and the whole aspect of it is so much fun. Melissa Barrera as Sam is great. Jenna Ortega is a star now, and then I want to see more of Jasmine Savoy Brown in movies, and Hayden Panettiere as Kirby is great. It's a fun movie, but the aspect of if you're putting it in a new city, which was very, very different, because the aspect of having it in New York City is great. It took 6 movies to leave Woodsboro to go somewhere else. Anytime a movie does that, you're going to be like, what's going to happen? Okay, there are some great instances where before a killing happens, there is a horror movie on the television, and it's really fun. Like, one of them was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one from the 1950s, before someone gets killed, and in the background it's like, you're next, you're next. That little, aspect of how the filmmaking goes is really, really good. And I love the movie, but if it's in a setting, make the setting that much more of a character itself. Don't just give us quick glimpses of the Brooklyn Bridge, the World Trade Center one, and little quick glimpses. And this takes place during Halloween season, which makes it even more fun. So, I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this franchise. I said it in my Scream 5 review back in January 2022, that should have been the ending of the franchise, but I feel like 6 is it. That's it. Move on. We don't need any more. I feel like everything has come to fruition, especially when you put in these Easter eggs of former killers and the masks that were used and how everything happens and the reasoning of why the killer is doing what they do in this 6th movie. I mean, the movie still in itself pokes fun at itself because of how the Scream franchise started. And the memory of Wes Craven is still there with how everything goes. But you can tell different writers and different directors have put their own spin on it, which is really, really good. This franchise is surviving, which is really, really surprising. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. Scream 6 gets 4 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Scream 6. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like the aspect of the story, the setting? What did you think about the Ghostface kind of story? Did you like how that was done? Did you like how it lined up with everything? What did you think about the Easter eggs? Did you enjoy the Ghostface shrine? And do you think a 7th movie should happen? And how many movies in this franchise do you see happening? And do you want to see Neve Campbell return as Sidney Prescott? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and also let me know what rating you would give Scream 6. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I'll see you all in the next review video, and thank you for tuning in.